We're watching films on the toilet, because that's what dads have to do. When the movie's unsuitable for your kids, then pretend you need a number two. If you need a break from your family or spouse, there's a lavatorial picture house. Watch Terminator 2 while you're sitting on the loo. Enjoy the whole of Rambo 4 with your trousers on the floor. We're watching films on the toilet. How about you?
Hey, welcome everyone.
Welcome to the show. Wow, so watching films on the toilet, which is what we do because we are two dads, don't have much time, watch the violent, wonderful 18 certificate movies that we want to watch on the bog because we can't watch them with our kids. And then we chat about them a bit, but mostly other stuff.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary. And why do we do this really?
Well, I guess I don't spend enough time on the toilet. I need to spend more time away from my family, so I spend it chatting to you as well.
And desperate for attention, desperately trying to fight off midlife crises. If you're not careful, this will become a podcast about riding motorbikes and leather jackets. That's what this podcast will become about.
Leather daddies on the toilet. This week we will be discussing 1991's Tony Scott directed The Last Boy Scout, starring Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans.
Cool.
So we'll get to that a little later. But first of all, we've got a little bit of correspondence this week, Amy.
Have we indeed?
For the last few weeks, we've been doing a little feature where we've asked listeners to send in their made-up actors playing made-up characters in made-up movies. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just listen to a few episodes back. I'm not going to bother trying to explain it again. Anyway, we have received a suggestion from a fella called Davey A. And Davey A's I'll Give That 10 Minutes is a podcast which is hosted by Davey A. And it's lovely. He chats about all sorts of movie-type stuff, pop culture things. And yeah, he sent in a suggestion. Are you ready? Are you ready, man? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm good.
Tom Hardy's back. Okay, here we go. Fergus McPougal is Hamish Lou in From Flusher with Glove.
Oh. It's clever what he's done there. He's introduced all different toilet words into the title of it.
Yes, it's very appropriate.
In an attempt to ingratiate himself with us, and I got to tell him, mission accomplished.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Davey.
If any of you other listeners out there have similar things you want to say, I can't speak, then send them in.
So if any other listeners want to send in toilet-based ideas for films, send them in.
Or just do their own made-up films. That's what I was trying to say. Doesn't have to be toilet-based, but if you want, that's fine.
I got you there. Whew. Okay, now that we've received a short letter, and I believe do we have a longer letter as well?
I've actually got a couple of bits of correspondence I need to run by you.
All right, well, I'm gonna blast through this quick then. Okay, so short letter that we received. I'm going to read it out. It says this. Dear Toilet Boys, you reviewed The Suicide Squad last week and you didn't even mention King Shark. He's easily the best character. It's not easy to make a man-eating shark likeable, you know. You need to make this right. Yours, the ghost of Jackie Stallone. P.S. Yeah, Jackie. Can you believe it?
Oh, Jackie.
Jackie got in touch.
Yeah, Racky.
Yeah, Racky. Oh, good old Jackie.
Oh, man.
So she's not very happy that we didn't mention her son's brilliant role.
I hadn't realised she'd passed away.
Yeah, she did, unfortunately. But, you know, she's still engaging.
Well, do you know what? Sorry, my son's just brazenly walked past and picked up a banana to eat. He looked me right in the eye whilst he did it.
Unbelievable.
And he's just over there whilst I'm talking about it, but he's not paying a blind bit of attention to me. FYI, it's way past his bedtime. This is not just like, I'm not having a go at him for eating a banana during the day. All right, bedtime, please. No. Off you go. Night, night.
Did he take his banana with him?
He did, yeah.
Anyway,
Ricky.
Yeah, Jackie.
If you're not 40 years old and from the UK, you probably won't understand that reference, but just Google, Raki.
Yeah.
See what comes up.
Okay, good.
There you go.
Cool. All right. So yeah, it's a hot start, isn't it?
It's a super hot start.
Correspondence.
Let's see if we can keep pace.
So we've received some more, have we?
A couple of little ones. I just gloss through the first one. It's not super important, but
Okay.
from the law offices of O'Malley, Carter, and Curry. Dear Sir, despite multiple previous requests, you have continued to slander our client, Mr. Cameron, blah, blah, blah. No option left but to initiate prosecution, blah, blah, blah. Both you and your co-host are named defendants, blah, 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 blah. Jail time is certainty, blah, blah. Reputation in tatters by the time we're finished, blah, blah, blah. Families left destitute. Kind regards, Angela O'Malley, senior partner. Okay.
Oh,
So,
why am I in it?
you're in the
I
show.
didn't say anything.
For those of you who are not up to speed, I had this theory that James Cameron kidnapped stray cats and dogs and just not very nice to them.
Puts
And
them on spikes.
Puts
is
them
what
on
you said.
spikes, yeah.
Is what you said, not me. That's what you said.
Anyway, I'm not so bothered about that one. This is the real deal one here. Okay.
Oh, God. Right. Okay.
So, in old-fashioned detective stories, people cut up bits of newspapers and paste words down. It's one of those.
Oh, good.
Actually, super excited to get one of these. I've never.
It's about
had one
time we
before.
received mail like that.
Yeah.
Terrifying mail.
So here's what it says: You don't know me, and I can't tell you who I am for fear of my life. But I can tell you this: I'm close to the Malibu Department of Animal Control. And I know for a fact that some really weird things have been happening around the Cameron compound.
Oh.
Okay, it just lists a few. A spate of animal disappearances near the property. Reports of a man dressed in black with a sack full of stolen dogs and carrying a long metal instrument, possibly a knife or stabbing weapon. Eyewitness confirmation of a man throwing a couple of stray cats into a van featuring Terminator 3D Battle Across Time branding. Howling and screeching emanating from the compound, accompanied by the acoustic version of My Heart Will Go On. Traumatised pets escaping from the property with big bites taken out of them. You're close on this one. Don't let them intimidate you with lawyers or threats of personal violence. There are others who believe you. You're not alone. A friend. Whoa.
Whoa. That case has just been blown wide open.
Blowed apart.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Wow.
Let's see where this sordid tale of intrigue ends up.
I can't wait to find out.
Something tells me this might take another 3 or 4 episodes to resolve itself.
The Terminator 3 branded van, I was surprised to hear. I'm surprised that old Jimmy is still driving around in one of those.
Evidence is stacking up. He can set his lawyers on us, but I'm not letting go of this. I'm like a dog with a bone before he gets stabbed.
You are, before he gets stabbed. Stephen Lang, the actor from Don't Breathe and Don't Breathe 2, and Avatar, said that he cried when he read the 5th Avatar script, which apparently is the last one, because it was such a touching ending. So that's good to know that we have 4 more of those to look forward to. I think we might be dead before the 5th Avatar comes out.
I think we might be.
Yeah, well, anyway, good. 100% sure we haven't heard the last of that.
100%.
So let's see where that goes next week. I'm 110% sure. Cool. Do we have any toilet news this week?
We do. This is my favourite. I can put my money where my mouth is. This is the favourite toilet news story we've had yet.
Oh my, I can't wait.
Yeah, brace yourself. This is from Essex Live news website. Worker claims Ollie Murs farted his own name in backstage toilet.
What?
Ollie Murs has reacted to a viral story alleging he farted his own name backstage in a London theatre's toilet. The story, first posted to Reddit, then shared on Twitter, described how a worker in a London theatre once bumped into the Essex singer. So the story reads, "My weirdest encounter has to be when I met Ollie Murs in the backstage toilets. I was washing my hands when he exited a cubicle. I noticed he kept looking at me in the mirror, so I smiled at him. He then looked at me in the mirror again, dead in the eye, and did a massive fart that sounded like someone saying Ollie Murs. And while he did it, he opened his mouth to mouth the words Ollie Murs.
That, what?
I've never wanted
insane.
something to be true more in my life. Oh, man.
I don't think I've ever wanted to hear something more than that in my whole life.
It's incredible.
How could it? I'm just trying to, hear it in my head. How could a fart sound like Ollie Murs? Maybe if it was sort of like a Ollie Murs, a 3-syllable fart. And he went, maybe.
Yeah.
But for that to actually sound like Ollie Murs, wow.
And I just love the fact that what makes this story is the fact that he mouthed the words Ollie Murs whilst he was doing it.
Yeah, that's incredible. He knows.
Like he knew.
And has he responded to this?
Yeah, he has.
And what did he say?
Okay, so Ollie Murs has left it open to the discussion, sharing the post on his Instagram stories. He said, "Read this and honestly let me know if you think I did this." Okay. It says, later at the bar, Ollie allegedly caught the storyteller's eye, winked at them and mouthed Ollie Murs once more.
Oh my God. That's his thing.
Do you remember there used to be that, this is going way back, but there was a show called That's Life. Consumer affairs show, but randomly they'd have comedy songs on it and stuff like this. And there was a dog.
Oh, right, yeah.
There was a dog who would say sausages. And it didn't really say sausages. Yeah. It was just growling. And its owner would open and shut its mouth and it would go, row, 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 like that. And they go, oh, yeah, look, it just said sausages. Do you think Ollie Murs manipulates his butt cheeks in the same way as that guy moves the dog's mouth?
Yeah, maybe that's how you do it.
Yeah.
You can't fart a word.
I don't know.
How can you do that?
Have you never farted and it sounded like someone going, like that?
Yeah, but it didn't sound like Ollie Murs. Have you ever farted your own name?
Sadly, no. But I'm going to dedicate the rest of my life to doing so.
I think we all need to pay a lot more attention to the sounds of our farts from now on.
Yeah, let us know if your farts have ever sounded like words, so we can try and get to the bottom of this story.
Sounds amazing. Have you seen the cat that says Long Johnson?
Yes, I have. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Oh, Long John. Oh, Long Johnson. He actually does sound like he's saying that.
But do you know what they've very cleverly done with that video? Is they've subtitled it. Because if you didn't have those subtitles, you would never go like, oh, he's just said Long Johnson.
Oh, Long John.
He's just going, wah, 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 like that. But because you see someone writing Long Johnson, you're like, oh, I guess he just said Long Johnson.
He did. He clearly said it. Wow. That is... You can't top that.
Well, that's the thing. I should have finished with that news story, but I was so excited to tell it.
Have you got a lesser toilet news story?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
This one doesn't sound quite so funny now compared to that, which is just overtly funny.
Let's see how it goes.
Man falls 100 foot down cliff jumping railing to go to toilet. It's fine. He was fine. Okay, you're allowed to laugh at this. He was suffered minor injuries. Okay, so it's fine.
100 feet.
100 feet, yeah.
How is he fine?
No life-threatening or life-changing injuries, mainly scratches and what's thought to be a broken ankle. So isn't that amazing? After a 100-foot jump.
That's crazy. So he's on the way to toilet.
Well, you'll like this even more, Ben. This was in Newquay.
Oh, brilliant! Perfect.
So police were alerted to the incident by Coast Guards in Newquay after the man in his 20s fell between 70 and 100 feet down the cliff. The man had reportedly made the jump over the railings to go to the toilet.
I see. I thought he was trying to find, the public toilets, and I didn't know why they would be over
so
a railing.
You thought He was walking along, spotted the public toilets on the beach, and just thought,
Yeah.
can't be bothered to walk down. I'm just going to jump.
Do you know where the toilet is, Matthew? Yeah, it's just over that railing, mate.
All the way
cheers.
down there. Oh, I'm doing that. I'm just going to jump.
Right. No, just like halfway down. All right, just jump over. Ah! Oh, guys, he jumped, didn't he? He only got to jump. On to the movie. The movie this week is The Last Boy Scout. Were you ever a Boy Scout, Eamon?
I wasn't. I was desperate to join the Boys Brigade, but my mum absolutely ruled it out. She just wasn't going to let it happen. She's never been so adamant about anything. She was just like, "You're not doing it. You're not joining."
I think she was right.
What about you?
I went to one Scouts session. I cried. Didn't like it. Didn't go back.
I once went to the Air Training Corps, which is like
Oh, yeah.
cadets. They used to do it at our school. And they basically played a video in an assembly, which made it sound like if you join, you get to fly in a jet fighter. That's how they made it sound. As soon as you
It's true.
join, you get to go in a fighter jet. So me and my friend Doug got really excited, and we went, and it was it was woeful. We made you like march around the school, which obviously is like creepy because it was all dark and you were at school.
Yeah.
It was this weird guy in a lab coat who was sort of in charge of everything, which made it look like, he was running some sort of weird experiment.
That's weird.
And they had one of those boring ass flight simulators on an old PC.
Do you remember the Krypton Factor? They have a flight simulator.
It was exactly like that. It was boring as hell.
It was boring.
It just took...
Like, we got to land? Well, yeah, technical landing is not that exciting to watch.
I remember it was so boring, like I crashed on purpose. I just pushed the gear stick down as far as it would go just to get it
Did
over
lab
it.
coat lose his nut?
He'd lost his nut over it. And then...
You did that on purpose. Go and hide in the dark school.
Yeah, that's right. Word of warning. If some liar comes into your school or place of work, you shouldn't be listening to this if you go to school. That'd be weird. And starts going on about how great the ATC is. I can tell you, it's a load of baloney. Those guys are idiots who march around schools in the dark and play old computer games. Don't bother.
Ooh. I wonder if we'll hear from the ATC next
I wonder if the Ministry of Defence will be knocking on my door.
It might.
Yeah.
It just might. Yeah, good. So, anyway, before we talk about the film, I summarise the film, don't I?
You do indeed.
In a segment we like to call the Summer-wee. And in order for me to summarise the film, I need some time. I need some time. And that time is given to me by you drinking a drink and then doing a very long wee-wee.
That's right.
So what did you drink for me this week?
In an attempt to be healthy, I made a big bowl of tomato salsa.
Oh,
So you
nice.
got your tomatoes, you got your red onion.
Yeah.
I put coriander and mint in there.
Oh,
My
terrific.
fatal mistake was I pretty much put in an entire jar of pickled jalapenos.
Ooh.
So because I'd sort of spent ages making it, I felt like I should eat all of it.
Yes, that sounds like you.
Yeah, even though it was like a massive pasta bowl sized bowl full of salsa.
Did you get some dippy chips?
Again, trying to be healthy, I used crackers.
Mate.
Because it was so hot, I drank about 3 pints of orange squash.
Oh, okay.
But also because the salsa was mainly liquid,
Yes.
I carried about 2 litres of liquid.
A real hot liquid.
So the next morning I did a gigantic wee.
Ah, terrific.
Maybe the biggest one yet. It was 137.
Wow. Okay, well, I think I'm going to smash this.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Right, well, the film opens at a very wet American football game. One of the players receives a threatening phone call, urging him to win. And on his way to the goal line, he pulls out a gun, shoots a few players, and then shoots himself. Friday Night Football! Then we meet Bruce Willis, who used to be a Secret Service agent, but is now an alcoholic private detective, and Damon Wayans, who used to be a legendary quarterback, but is now a washed-up drug addict. Bruce finds out his wife is cheating on him with his business partner, who's then killed when his car explodes, and Damon's stripper girlfriend, played by Halle Berry, is mowed down by some bad men in a street. These things are somehow related, and Bruce and Damon are thrown together to crack the case. They get along well, then they don't, then they do, then they don't, as they're shot at and beaten up until there's a big showdown at another football game in which a sniper falls into the blades of a helicopter, and Bruce Willis is a hero again, and they get on again. The end.
Jeez Louise, well, that was super quick. That was 1 minute and 1 second.
Perfect. I
So-
didn't think I needed to say an awful lot more, to be honest.
An overspill, if you will, of 36 seconds.
An indulgence of seconds.
Mm,
No.
it doesn't work.
I'm going with it. I'm taking it.
Well, you can go with it, but it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, does it?
See, this is one of these things, you meet enough people in this world. Let's just say dumbass things, but in such a confident
Yeah.
way, you just go, yeah, I'll let it go.
An indulgence of seconds. Let's move on.
Yeah, I'm not letting that one go.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so Eamon, you chose this film,
I did, yeah.
and you hadn't seen it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had many, many years ago,
Yeah.
and I didn't have any real lasting memories of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think of The Last Boy Scout?
It feels like a montage of every other late 80s, early 90s action film I've ever seen.
Right.
And you're right in that there are no standout sequences. This film was made by people who know action.
Yes.
A good action director in Tony Scott.
Yeah.
Joel Silver, the go-to action producer of that era.
The producer, yeah.
Big action star, obviously. And Shane Black, good writer. I think he was paid a huge amount of money to write this script.
1.75 million for this script,
Yeah.
which everyone claims was much better than the finished product.
There's a lot of big egos involved. It does sort of have that feel of a project that's basically been made bland by too many competing interests.
That seems to be the case in a lot of the films we've talked about. Tango and Cash, which actually was sort of saved in the edit by Stuart Baird, who did the same job with this film.
Yes.
As you said, I think it's a lot of alpha males trying to guerrilla their ideas into it, and it just, well, you saw what happened.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
I think it opens quite strong. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
This American footballer gets a call, and I mean, it's quite an odd way to try and win the game. He's clearly not going to get that goal allowed by shooting 4 other members of his team. But, you know, there's rain and it's moody, and I quite like
I
that.
like the mood of the football game, but I can suspend my disbelief to a certain extent. But obviously that was like a televised football match. Like, they wouldn't play it in the dark.
Yeah.
And in fact, later on, in the climax of the match, there's a shooter in the floodlights.
Yes,
So floodlights do exist in that universe.
they just weren't
And they
on.
just decided not to use them.
Have you ever played sport in the dark?
Is this euphemism? Sorry if I missed something. Are you talking about dogging or something?
No, I was literally asking if you'd played sport in the dark.
I used to play five-a-side at Battersea.
Right.
And this was like Battersea five-a-side league, and even they could afford floodlights.
Did you play against the cats and dogs from the shelter there?
That's right, yeah. I mean, it was naive of the staff to think they'd get away with it.
Yeah.
They would stuff about 7 or 8 cats and dogs into the jersey and trousers of
Yeah.
a regular player.
Yeah.
And they'd sort of be wobbling all over the pitch, barely kick the ball.
That team's very overweight, aren't they?
We'd just be looking at their manager being like, we know what you've done. These players are made of cats and dogs. And they'd be like, no.
It's a classic ruse.
Yeah, it was a classic ruse. I mean, fair play to
You know,
them.
I got my cat Helen from Battersea Cats and Dogs.
Oh, yeah, did she play football?
Yeah, she loves it. She's when England were on, she was going nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Lads, she'd chant.
She's very nationalistic, isn't she, Helen?
She loves it. She'd stand on 2 legs when the national anthem came on. It was creepy, but yeah, she's very patriotic.
Do you know what? I think my single greatest problem with this film was Damon Wayans. He is a terrible, terrible actor. Like, he sucks.
I feel like when he was allowed to be funny, kind of goofy funny, I quite enjoyed his performance. But his character was so inconsistent. I got really annoyed with Bruce Willis.
Why is that?
It was just this constant, like...
It was total cynicism. It's like they'd gone, this character's going to be John McClane, but like way grumpier. There was like nothing could surprise him.
Nothing.
To the point where he'd be like within, inches of his own death, and he'd just be like cracking wise.
Yeah.
He was being held at gunpoint and he was telling your mama jokes.
That's right. Well, that's what you do.
When I got held at gunpoint once, and I got out of it by telling a load of your mama jokes.
Yeah.
But they were specifically jokes about your mother.
Have you met Ben's mum?
After about 7 or 8 minutes of just constant your mother jokes,
My mum.
yeah, they were just in bits. I've set up a Twitter feed titled Ben's Mother's Jokes. They're not jokes from your mum.
Yeah, so no apostrophe S.
That's right.
That's good. How many followers have you got?
8 million.
Oh, wow. They're popular.
Yeah.
That's good. Oh, she'll be really pleased.
It's only been running for 2 days.
A lot more followers than our podcast.
It certainly has.
Yeah, I'm glad you cracked that. So Bruce Willis is about to fire a gun at a wardrobe because he thinks that his wife's lover is inside.
What is weird is how inconsistent that is because he's like, oh, I'm crazy, I'm insane and mad, and I'm going to fire off this gun. And then, like, 2 minutes later, he's, like, chatting with his mate, and it's just like he's, like, pranked his car or...
Does he punch him in the stomach?
Yeah, he says, ask him if he wants to be punched in the face or stomach.
That's what you do, right? If your
friend... and it clears the slate.
If your best friend sleeps with your wife, just give him a little jab in the stomach.
That's right.
Move on.
Get over it. Do that punch, and then you can just finally get on with business. Business you've been waiting to discuss. Clear up the small matter of the extramarital affair, and then you can crack on with what's really important, the $500 worth of business you've been promised.
This real estate opportunity isn't going to sell itself.
But that would make it even more understandable if it was like a house sale or something where there's hundreds of thousands of pounds. This is like $500. He's just like, yeah, I know you've been banging my wife. Tell me about this $500 contract.
And then his wife apologises to him at the end of the film. I'm pretty sure he should have been the one apologising.
She did have an affair.
I don't think he treated her particularly well.
Well, Ben, I think this is a terrible lesson that you're teaching the listeners.
Okay.
This is basically like saying that if someone behaves badly, you're entitled to behave badly as well. And no apology is necessary.
Bruce Willis didn't apologise.
But he doesn't have an affair.
But he was a drunk. He neglected her for many years. He didn't raise their daughter very well. In fact, he put his daughter's life in jeopardy. And then he just sort of goes back to, oh, well, you should be sorry for everything you've done.
But in fairness, the affair happens before he puts his daughter in jeopardy.
Oh, right, so he doesn't have to apologise.
I know you're trying to come across all like woke and like a friend of women and stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely
sorry,
what this is.
Having an affair, at least in my book, infidelity, this is not cool. I know you think it is cool. For me, it's not cool.
That's yeah, I'm sorry, that's exactly
what you've been saying. But essentially what
you know said. You know what, Eamon, I'm going to apologise.
Yeah, thanks.
For what I said.
You won't get an apology from me.
Infidelity is not cool. No, I wasn't expecting one. As a Bruce Willis fan, I will apologise there.
Yeah.
So we've come round full circle. Excellent. I think what I like about this film is that everyone involved went on to learn their lessons from it and do better things. Tony Scott made much better films after this. Shane Black made The Nice Guys, which was
very similar
to this, but much better.
Oh, it's 100 times better, yeah.
Much funnier.
Yeah.
And the characters were much more likeable.
Yeah. I never watched Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Was that any good?
That was a lot of fun. And it did that contemporary hard-boiled detective thing very, very well.
I tell you, someone else who went on to better things in this. Did you spot him?
Did I spot him?
Yeah.
Oh, who?
So, Ben, you know I'm a huge fan of a good goon.
Oh, yes. I know you love a goon.
In many respects, they had the ultimate goon in this. Do you know who it was?
No, who was it?
James Gandolfini. He plays a bearded goon who doesn't have any speaking parts, but he's one of the heavies.
I didn't even notice.
It's in the scene where the briefcase handover takes place.
Wow. You know what? I'm not going to watch it again, but I'm glad that you've pointed it out.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, then that just solidifies my point.
It does make it solid. It was liquid before, now it's rock hard.
So it was gas before, and now it's gone all the way through liquid to solid.
Transubstantiation.
Exactly. That transubstantiates my point.
Is that what that is? Or is it sublimation?
I don't know.
Transubstantiation, I think, is when those little wafers become Christ's actual body.
That's not what I was going for.
Sublimation, I reckon it is.
What is the name for gas to liquid? Liquid gas. Sublimation?
I've just said that about 1 million times.
Sublimation.
Yeah, I've said that over and over again.
I was just checking. So that sublimates my point.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because it was airy and gaseous, your point, and now it's hard like cuboid of fact.
So hang on. So before that,
Transubstantiation. So your point was originally just like a plain old wafer, but then when you made it properly, it became the body of Christ.
I think that works too.
Yeah, same.
I mean, that's essentially what we do with this podcast. We record, we talk for 4 hours, and then through editing.
Becomes the body of Christ.
Very nice. Excellent.
Pretty sure that's not blasphemous.
No, it's not blasphemy if it's true. So,
There's a bit at the very beginning where Bruce Willis is in his car and he looks in the mirror and he says, "Nobody likes you, everybody hates you."
yes, that was quite funny.
That's the kind of pep talk you give yourself, isn't it? Every morning.
Rather than looking in the mirror, I look at my kids. You, on the other hand, you go into one of those sort of man with the golden gun style hall of mirrors, don't you? Mm-hmm. So there's many of you, and you tell them all how you feel about them?
One by one, individually.
Yeah.
I go around to each individual mirror.
6 million.
I will always regret doing it because it just takes so long.
Have you tried smiling at yourself in the mirror? That smile therapy thing.
What's that?
You just smile at yourself. Or just smile and it makes you happy.
I would hate that.
It's quite good.
Do you do that?
I've done it a few times just to make myself laugh, and it works.
Well,
Nice thing.
I should give that a try. So, at the end, they become partners.
Yeah.
He's just telling him what he needs to know. And one of the things is you need to use like pithy lines. It's quite a good, actually, sort of self-referential kind of meta moment.
Yeah.
And he says, for example, if you hit someone with a surfboard, you should say something like, "Surf's up, pal."
Good one.
Let me give you a variety of scenarios. I'd like you to come up with a pithy.
Okay, let me get in the kind of hard-boiled, kind of anti-hero vibe. Okay, I'm there.
Okay. So you're fighting someone, you're in an ice cream fan.
Ooh, right.
You make a massive Mr. Whippy.
Yeah.
And then jam it all the way down their throat.
Okay.
What would you say as you're doing that?
So rubbish at these. I'd say...
I mean, the moment's gone. By the time we've waited that long, the moment's gone.
Okay, how about... Do you want a flake with that?
And then where would you put the flake?
Up his bum.
So, I mean, we're assuming he's already passed out. He's on the floor. Pull down his trousers and stick a flake up his bum. Yeah. Good save.
Yeah.
Okay, good one.
Okay.
Let's do another one. You're in a fishmonger's.
Okay.
And you pick up a whole salmon and you bash it into the side of Baddie's face. What do you say then?
How about... Oh, that's tricky. Salmon?
It doesn't have to be salmon related. It can just be fish related.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
What about, I've got one.
Go on then.
You could say, "I've haddock with you."
Oh, that's good. It was the salmon that threw me off. I was thinking it could be something like, "I'm going to batter you."
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
But
that's good.
It was because you
It's-
said
but it's not
salmon.
fishing.
Like you don't, you don't batter salmon.
Do you think the goon would be like, "Well, that doesn't work because this is a salmon"?
Yeah, it threw me. Large portion of chips, Savoy, and battered salmon, please.
I think you have a bit of bandwidth, don't you?
Yeah.
In the heat of the moment, you'd hope no one would pick you up on that.
Saying I'm going to batter you after you've been smacked about by salmon is
Yeah.
probably a little late. You've been battered?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
You've been battered.
And then stick a chocolate flake.
Yeah, and then chocolate flake goes up their bum. Okay,
One more?
one more. You're in a scrapyard
Right, okay.
and you've got a car on one of those big magnet cranes.
Oh, right,
And then
yeah.
you release the magnet and it squashes a bad guy. The car squashes a bad
Kills
guy.
him.
No, he's fine. But it just knocks him out.
He's fine.
It just knocks him out, yeah.
People get cars landing on them all the time. They're fine.
Let's tell you who it is. It's that guy who jumped off a cliff and lived. It's
Oh,
him.
right, it's him. He's unlucky,
Yeah.
isn't he?
But he's fine, though. But he survives.
But it
what I'm
might be
saying.
something like, "I've had a crush on you for ages."
That's interesting because it works perfectly, but it's also kind of like romantic.
Then I follow up with the flake. And
Then the flake.
Then the romance comes into play.
Ben, you
Yeah.
absolutely nailed that. Well done.
Could I be a hard-boiled hero?
Certainly could, yeah.
So, big question, Eamon. The Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
Would you flush it down the toilet or fish it out, i.e. rescue it from the bowl?
I would not rescue this. I would flush it down the toilet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was like dross, but it was just so bland and unmemorable. What about you?
Oh yeah, flush it. Flush it away and move on to something better that involves all those talented people. All right, good. Well, so that was The Last Boy Scout. Now on to this week's Top 5.
Ooh.
So we are going to guess each other's Top 5 Bruce Willis movies. So movies in which Bruce Willis has played a substantial part. Whoever guesses the most correct answers will get to choose next week's film. Whoever gets the least has to do a forfeit. So I've lost about 5 weeks in a row now.
Yeah, you're rubbish at this.
So I get to start, right? Here we go. My first guess is a duplicate, as I think quite a lot of them will be.
Yeah.
And it is Die Hard.
Yes. 100%. His best film. Okay. Duplicate. Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Okay. This is duplicate. Looper.
No.
I'm tapping.
It's not an overlook.
Tapping.
It's not an overlook. I prefer everything else I have down on here to that.
Really?
Film. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No, okay, fair. All right. I like Looper. That would have been a duplicate.
I'm going to say Lucky Number 11, because I know you bloody love that film.
Oh, I did. You know what? I love that film, but no, it's not. It's not on my list, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh, it's a good guess.
Okay.
It's a good guess. Okay, I'm going to say Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, Die Hard 3.
Yes.
Real good film.
We saw that together, didn't we? When it was my 15th birthday, I think.
Was it? Yeah, I remember seeing it with you and thinking it was brilliant.
And with my dad, he came along and watched it with us.
Did he?
Yeah, he did, and there was a lot of bad language in it. I was quite shocked.
It's like, I'm not sure what I think about this.
Chill out, Les. Just, do you know what I mean? Eat your spinach.
Okay, I've got to get
If you
this.
don't get this,
Yeah, I know you love this film as well.
okay.
Last Man Standing.
Oh, I love that film. No.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I win.
So I've
Yeah,
lost.
in your face.
Oh, shoot.
Losing streak is over.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah.
Ah,
Good,
nuts.
good stuff.
Okay, so spill the beans. What was on your list?
Oh, okay. So my whole list was 12 Monkeys, Pulp Fiction, Die Hard, Looper, and Unbreakable, which I very much enjoyed.
Not Sin City.
No, that's fine.
Load of ball bag, if you ask me, mate.
Tried to reel me in there.
Yeah, well, it's style over substance. Oh, look. Good guys, looks like he's yellow. Amazing.
Everyone else is black and white and he's yellow.
Oh, look,
What?
it looks like a comic book. Yeah, that's why it's in comic books. They're not films, you dumbass. Anyway,
What were your Bruce Willis's?
Die Hard 3, Sixth Sense, 12 Monkeys, Pulp Fiction.
They're all good. They're good movies. Good movies.
Those are all good movies, but there's not a lot of, like we say, maybe 6 good movies that he's done.
Yeah,
Not
there
many.
wasn't an awful lot to work with. Good stuff. So, you have to do the forfeit this week, which is much like Damon Wayans riding a horse across a football pitch at the end, is to ruin a sporting event.
Okay, give it my best shot.
All right. But last week I did the forfeit, which was to act out some vigilante justice. So, this is what happened. So I heard that Tinder was a great place to look for predators. So I made a profile and secured myself a date.
Hi.
Good evening.
Should we shake hands or...
No, I'll be avoiding physical contact, thank you.
Okay.
You look a few years younger in your profile picture. That's quite misleading.
Oh, I don't think I've changed that much.
Well, you've put on a bit of weight.
Right. Have you been waiting long?
Yep, got here very early. Way before you did.
Oh, right. Did you have to travel far?
Why? Are you trying to find out where I live?
No. Just wondered, should we get some drinks?
No, thank you. I ordered my own drink from the bar and poured it into this flask with a secure lid. I've also had a 3-course meal, so I won't be ordering any food that you could potentially tamper with.
Right. So we'll just sit then.
Yeah. I will sit here until you leave. And if I'm not home by 10 o'clock, my mum's going to call the police.
Okay.
Hey, can I get you anything? No, thank you.
I'll have a glass of water, please.
Oh, all right then. Quite happy for me to have an alcoholic drink, but you won't have one yourself. Classic predator.
I didn't know you'd had an alcoholic drink.
Yeah, there are loads of them. I'm intoxicated and my judgment has definitely been impaired. You gonna try and take advantage of me?
What?
Here's your glass of water. I'll take that.
Ah!
You disgust me. Alright, and yeah, my vigilante justice went very well. Next week we are going to be watching, drum roll, Boss Level, which is a 2021 film starring Frank Grillo, directed by Joe Carnahan.
Do you think Frank Grillo should be making his own George Foreman style meat press?
The Frank Grill.
It's the Frank Grillo.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd like nothing more than to see him pitching his own sandwich press.
Frank Grill.
It's Frank Grillo. It's Grillo. It's got to be Grillo, Ben. It can't be Frank Grill because his name's not Frank Grill.
Yeah, I said. I've added O every single time. There's just a pause. The Frank Grill. O.
Maybe I was getting too impatient because I'm just like, why the fuck does he keep on saying
You
Frank
were.
Grill? He's called Frank
Jump
Grillo.
down my throat. You jumped down my grill.
I jumped down your Grillo.
His name's not Frank Grill. So there we go. There's another episode. If you listen to it, let us know what you thought. Yeah, go on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. Have a look at us. Chat. Say stuff.
We will reply. It might just be a string of obscenities, though.
That depends who's in charge of the social media that day, basically.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, you might get a polite response from me. Not so polite from old Eamon. And if you happen to fart your own name, please let us know.
Oh my God! Please, like we'll pay a reward. Please let us know.
All right. Well, there's only one more thing to do.
Keep flushing.
Bye.